Let's dive into the office design world. The journey of office design has evolved, and where are we at now, and what are you seeing?
The fundamental mistake that people look at is
Let's dive into the office design world. So I'm sure you've been doing it since the 80s, maybe 90s or late 80s, 90s. Tell us about how the journey of office design has evolved, and where are we at now, and what are you seeing?
when we first got in the industry, everybody had a cubicle that they worked in. There was walls, either full height walls being an office, or they would be half height walls to about 1.5 meters high. And you went into your cubicle, you probably got about 6 or 7 square meters of space. And that's where your zone was. Today's more modern office is moved now to more open ceilings, more natural light, more interaction, more collaborative spaces. You mainly would see a number of boardrooms, meeting rooms, some zones where people can gather together, some high benching, some low soft seating, just for collaboration. It feels like 60% of the week people are in the office and the other 40% are at home, or vice versa. So it's really changed since then. And I feel also that trying to entice and senior management trying to get their staff back in, they've got to give the staff some really nice entity to work within to entice them back.
What are the key things they need to do when they look for an office space and they don't have the builder at their disposal?
What we try and do as a company, ODC Design, is we look at the space and the footprint that the actual client wants to take. We try and establish, are they a 500 square metre fit out, or are they 1,000 square metres? In the case of yourself, Savant, I think at the time when we were talking to Chris, you were somewhere between 800 and 1,000 square metres. What we did was we dived in very deeply into how your organisation works, how many offices you wanted to consider, how many meeting rooms, and you threw in a podcast room, which we're sitting in at the moment, which was something a bit different for ODC. And the first time, there's not too many podcast offices or rooms being built around. It's a long journey, and not often enough do you actually relocate your business. It usually happens on a cycle of 5, 10, 15 years. I've had clients that have sort of sat in some office space for 20 years and then they thought, oh, we've been here long enough, it's time for a move. The way I look at it and our staff look at it, one of the most important things is what is actually sitting on the floor. And people go, well, what do you mean by what's sitting on the floor, Peter? Okay, what size footprint of workstations do I need? How many offices do I need? Do I need storage? Do I need an IT room? Do I need this? All this takes space and allocation of where it's going to sit. You can maneuver it around on a space. You can have a comms room showing here one day, and then, oh no, what about if we flip it here because of these reasons? It's closer to electrical switchboards to bring cabling in and things like that.
What are the key things they need to do when they look for an office space and they don't have the builder at their disposal?
The fundamental mistake that people look at is not fully understanding what they're getting. So what we do with our experience, we demonstrate with a space plan of how your space is going to look like, and then we actually break it down and provide a budget. And inside that budget is got full specifications, full requirements of what you need, and it's all laid out in a 20-page document. When we actually sit down with a client and demonstrate that particular plan and that budget, that's when the penny drops into the client. A lot of companies out there don't actually give the full picture to their clients just to try and win their business. I have been in the game a very, very long time, and my reputation is the most important thing. But when I'm sitting opposite a client, I want to make sure that we're delivering for them what they actually need and not shortcut it to get appointed where other companies out there can do that. And when you've got the full set of documents, that's actually when we start going to tender with all our different sub-trades. So we have set sub-trades of partitioning guys, electricians, air conditioning guys, fire protection guys, plumbers, joiners, workstations, loose furniture, etc. And once you've actually got the full set of documentation, that's when you can actually provide your client with a fixed cost based on that set of documentation. Picking the person that you want to actually work with and get along on these type of projects, they're a good 12 to 18 months journey. You've got to make sure that you can work with those people, but most importantly, their cost and their deliverables go hand in hand.